All right, guys, so whenever you come to an obstacle and you see your horse lock on, instead of grabbing more reins, the first thing I want you to do is release reins. Sit here, bring your heels down, and bring your seat back. Sit deeper in the saddle. If I don't have his face, he's only gonna move left or right if he runs away. And remember, it's a horse's natural reaction to run away. So if your horse is bucking because he's afraid, or running away because he's afraid, or bucking because he's afraid, or rearing because he's afraid, it's because you have too much rein. If he has his face, he's gonna try to run away because that's his natural reaction. So whenever I put something sketchy that he's never seen before, or we come to water, whatever it is, I give them the opportunity first. What happens, he moves off, I simply pull here and release. Pull here, release. Always turning him into his fear. As long as we have control of his head, no horse can refuse the obstacle. And I keep adding more pressure until he looks for the answer. As long as he's looking for the answer, we release. But as long as we're sitting here, good job. As long as we're sitting here, we're gonna go wherever the horse goes. Have you ever noticed that folks who sit forward tend to eat the dirt a lot? And you say riders like cutters, for example, they're riding genetic freaks. They're basically a 1,000-pound cat that they're on. They sit just like this. They have no idea where this freak athlete is gonna go, and they never fall off, to the point that they can ride bareback and bridleless and chase that cow off from the herd and still not fall off. Now, it's not because they're the greatest horsemen who ever lived, it's simply because they've developed their seat to be sticky. So as soon as something goes wrong and you see your horse perk up and look at a goat or a cow or a bush or a turkey or whatever it may be, a passing car, your first reaction, instead of this, which is our natural human instinct, what I want you to do is this. Sit down and put your heels in front of you and drop some rein. That way, if he surges to the left or the right, you simply counter that by, if he runs off to the right, one rein, pull him back to the left. If he goes off to the left, grab one rein and pull him back to the right. This is what normally happens. Somebody comes right to an obstacle, the horse looks down, no, okay, go, go. You just yanked on the horse's face and told him that it's acid water. Now you're pushing him to go over the acid water 2 seconds later, and he says, are you crazy? It's acid water, we'll die. So he can't go forward because that's acid water. He can't go backwards because you're kicking, and he can't go side to side because you have too much reins. You can see very quickly how it's just like putting air into a balloon. It can only hold so much, and then it pops. Come on, buddy. Good job. This exact same thing works with gaited horses, not gaited horses, with ponies, with Percherons, with Belgians, with warm bloods. We've taken the spooky of spooky horses, Grand Prix jumping horses that are absolutely terrified of everything, and they get sent to us because it gets to the point where they can't even practice because they're trying to run away. First thing we do is we bring them in, we go through our foundation system, we get them soft in the face from the ground, and then whenever we get in the saddle, as long as we have left and right, we look for the biggest, widest obstacle we can find. Whenever we do that, the bigger your obstacle is, the easier it is. So whenever that big warm blood runs off, I just say, excuse me, sir. No, sir. He runs off this way. Excuse me, sir. No, sir. Well, this is very simple. If all the pressure's on my horse and no pressure's on me, very quickly, he's gonna start wanting to make a decision. And that thing that seems so scary, he's gonna be willing to test it because he doesn't want that mental pressure anymore. Remember, when it comes to obstacles on the trail, it's all about making sure the pressure is on the horse. If the pressure is on you and you're feeling uncomfortable, you're gonna have a very difficult time to keep it up until your horse does it. If you're sitting back in a calm state of mind, very relaxed, and your only job is to pull left, pull right, then it's gonna be very easy for you to get any horse over any obstacle. Pro tip, pressuring a horse over an obstacle is not about something physical. It's about mental. You want to see that they're looking for the answer. If you kick a horse 2 or 3 times and nothing's happening, stop kicking. Okay? I want to see that my horse is looking for the answer. So all horses speak the same language, but each and every horse takes a different amount of pressure. Maybe you're on a very sensitive horse that the only thing you have to do is go left and right, and he's pressuring himself. Or maybe you're on a very dull horse that kicking it and he's sitting there. I see time and time again, somebody will be kicking a dull horse and the horse will be half asleep come on, Cookie, come on. Come on, Cookie, you can do it. The horse can sit there all day, and the poor rider is there almost in tears. If that happens, hey, you have a lead rope, pull out your lead rope. You see the little leather tassels that are on all the Western wear? They are not fringe. Fringe went out of style in the 80s. So this is a popper. Now, whenever you're gonna pop, just make sure that you have the head first. If I was to pull his head here and pop his hindquarters, pull his head here, pop his hindquarters, you would never be in fear of repercussion because they can't do anything with you whenever they're bent. And very quickly, he would start looking for the answer. Again, I'm never gonna do this on a horse that is sensitive, that is already looking for the answer. This would be more for your dull horses that kicking is putting them to sleep. Pro tip number 2. I want you to remember, the bigger the obstacle, the easier it is. I mean, it's easier to put a horse in a lake than in a puddle. The bigger the surface area is of your creek or your pond or your lake that you're trying to get the horse in, the bigger the surface area is, the easier it is to keep pressure on them. The smaller your obstacle is, the easier it is for them to take a couple steps here or a couple steps there and get a release. And remember, horses don't learn from pressure, they learn from release. Everybody watching this is a horse trainer, whether you know it or not, whether you get paid for it or not. If you're coming in contact with a horse, you're a horse trainer. If your horse is learning good or bad, that's yet to be seen. But remember, every time that they get a release, you want it to be on purpose, meaningful. If you do that, your horse will always be looking to do the right thing. Pro tip number 3, never ever turn away from your obstacle. It's natural human instinct that whenever we're trying to get a horse to do something they don't want to do or go somewhere that they don't want to go, we want to come up to it. Oh no, the horse is afraid. Let me try again. And we turn the horse around and try it again. What this instills in your horse is that if he's afraid of something, he can turn around. I know you ladies out there have had this happen to you. You're out there with your best friends on the trail, drinking your favorite beverage, sweet tea, of course. All of a sudden, you're not paying attention, and now your horse is heading in the other direction. If you don't want this to happen, every time your horse gets spooked of anything, face it, turn into it. Even if it takes you 20, 50, 100 yards out of the way, keep turning into it. Very quickly, what you're gonna create is a pointer dog. What I mean by that is, if he knows every time he makes a move, he gets pulled back in, every time he makes a move, he gets pulled back in, he's gonna start, instead of reacting, thinking about that pressure, whenever he gets afraid of something, he's going to freeze. I much rather a horse that freezes. This gives you an opportunity and time to process and work out the scenario. Get him through his fear, get him through what he's afraid of. If he just reacts on his own and he's running off another direction, your friends are gonna have to dust you off. So again, don't turn away from obstacles. Never show their butt to what they're afraid of. Always face them up. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching our video. Make sure to get in the comments below and give us your feedback. Let us know what all problems you're having, if you're having any problems with the steps, if there's more videos or problems that you would like to see. We just want to better help you bond with your horse and help fix some of your equine problems and reach your equine goals.